Donald Glover did it all, like one role model of mine. Other guys have done it all, but they always do one thing at a time. And I read this book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. It was probably the most profound book I've ever read. I highly recommend it for anyone that's super creative, because as creatives, we're like downloading God or whatever you want to call it, the universe's energy, and you can just create, because spirituality is creativity. So like you're just a transmitter, you're a receiver for that, and like whatever you are meant to make, you create by downloading the creativity. So we could be artists, we could be painters. If you're creative, you're creative. Sure, you got to learn the craft and all that, but like I found that I had my foot in many different industries, and now I'm starting to realize, okay, like you got to narrow it down. It doesn't mean you'll never do the other things, but you got to kind of like figure out a lane. But you get there by trying different things. Mm-hmm. So it's like you got to try different shit to figure out what you are good at. Is that weird? Have you heard of Ikigai?
I'm reading it right now.
Okay, yeah. So it's like that cross section of like what you're the best at out of everyone you know, what you love doing the most, what is of most value to the world, and what you can get paid for. Like right in, and like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what the fuck it is. Like, I know what this circle is. I know what that circle is. Okay, so I got to figure it out, But
what is that?
It's called Ikigai. It's the way like these like people in Japan, in a certain part of Japan, just live life. They like live.
They live longer. Eh?
They do, yeah, and they're happy. But you know what I was gonna tell you about like creativity and quality of life. Socializing is like a huge aspect of it, because people in Europe and like all these top artists, they're like in the cafes with their homies like every morning, like routine, shooting the shit, like. And I find it in the West, especially Toronto, like everyone's like this,
Yeah,
so it's like it's hard to even like we're like trying to survive like 9 to 5, like whatever, like working.
I found LA was a good place where people were a lot more open to.
Where?
Los Angeles.
LA, yeah. LA. I mean, LA is more easygoing, but it's still got that kind of like, yeah.
I think in LA I think it was more easygoing because that's what people go to LA for. Exactly. Is they go for film and entertainment and art. So a lot of people have the same vision, whereas here we don't necessarily have a clear, concise, we wouldn't be defined as an art city, you know what I mean? Even though we know, because we're in that realm, that there's a lot of good artists out here, there's a lot of creative people, but we wouldn't be known as that. So I feel like some people kind of have this fear of putting themselves out, but when you go to LA, you probably fucking move to LA with the idea that this is what it's going to be. So you're going there with the idea that I have to get something to work. So you're asking a bunch of people, what do you do? Yeah, let's go get a coffee. Yeah. Whereas here, you're kind of home. You're just like, you kind of take it for granted in a sense. So I agree. I think that, we need to build that kind of community, and maybe we're just in the wrong circles.
Or the wrong place. Yeah. Because Toronto's like one of the greatest cities in the world. We have so much talent, but we're so cliquey and envious.
There's a lot of gatekeepers here, bro.
That too. It's just generally like screw face capital. I hate to say it, but it's like
Cock Block Central.
Huh?
Cock Block Central.
Cock.